Namaste. In this series of educational videos, today we are going to discuss about a very important factor for everybody's health, and that is water. Both the modern Western medicine and Ayurveda, both these sciences have understood the importance of water as far as the health is concerned. As many of you would already know, the modern Western science believes that human body has approximately 55 to 60% water of the weight, and it is mainly in the fat tissue. So general rule is more the fat, more will be the water content of that person. The modern Western science also believes that the water is excreted on a daily basis through expiration, defecation, micturition, that means feces and urine, and of course by sweating. So these are the four main outlets according to modern Western science. Ayurveda is in line with some such concepts, that water is excreted through these modes, etc. But Ayurveda has some unique concepts about water which don't have any parallel in the modern Western medicine. As some of you might already know, Ayurveda believes in the dhatus, tissues of the body, and almost half of the tissues are dominated by water. The very first nourishing tissue of the body, which is called as a rasa dhatu in Ayurvedic terminology, is a watery dhatu. It is dominated by water. Then the second dhatu, which is called rakta dhatu, which can be equated with blood, but it is not exactly the blood. But the second dhatu, rakta dhatu, is also water dominated. The last of the seven dhatus, which is very important for fertility purpose, called as shukra dhatu, also has notable water in it. So it is also water dominated dhatu. So Ayurveda considers that water is a very important factor as far as the health is concerned. Lastly, Ayurveda believes in three functional powers of the body and calls them as tridoshas. Three means three, dosha means in this context the functional power. So Ayurveda believes that each and every living body is regulated by these three doshas, vata, pitta and kapha. And out of these three doshas, the kapha dosha is specifically nourished by water. So one of the three doshas, which are very important for the bodily functioning, is nourished by water. So that is how water is very important for both maintenance of health and, if needed, for treatment purpose according to Ayurveda. So in this episode we will have a quick discussion, brief discussion about water in Ayurvedic perspective. Ayurveda believes that water also has got some qualities, which is called as guna in Sanskrit, qualities or attributes. So because Ayurveda basically was scripturalized a couple of millennia ago, they have even made a list of water sources which may not be applicable today, or it may be considered as outdated today. But Ayurveda has precisely quoted the qualities of water coming from different sources. For example, water coming directly from the sky, that means the rainwater, will have different qualities. The water taken out from a well will have different qualities. The water coming from a flowing source like a river will have different qualities, and obviously water from the sea water will have different qualities. So Ayurveda has mentioned qualities of water based on the origin or the source of that water reservoir. But today, I think in most of the cities of the globe, we get water from the somewhat similar system. So better we discuss the rest about the water, not the origin and the source and the qualities. Nevertheless, water has its specific action on doshas. We have already discussed water increases kapha dosha. If properly used, water can be effectively used to control pitta dosha and also to control vata dosha of the body. So water is a great medicine. Ayurveda also believes that water can be consumed differently as per the seasons. So the simplest and the most logical explanation is, in winter seasons we should drink warm water or hot water. In spring and autumn we should drink normal water, means the room temperature water. And in hot seasons like summer, we are allowed to drink cold water. But when Ayurveda says cold water, it should be cooled by natural modes and not by refrigerators or cooling systems. Ayurveda also allows us to medicate water by putting some odorous things into it. For example, flowers were put in the water in the past to make them odorous and medicated. Then different other things could be also put in the water to impart its qualities to the water. But the most important and very interesting discussion about water is, it depends in which container we keep the water. In the past, they used to have golden containers, silver containers, iron containers, copper containers, etc. Obviously, in 21st century, most of the other options are not viable, not practicable, and today I guess most of the countries we are using what is called as stainless steel. So it is the most commonly used container. Ayurveda believes that if water is consumed at room temperature, it's a moderate season, spring or autumn, and water is consumed. Water is at room temperature and it is consumed. Please note it carefully. Ayurveda believes that even the water needs to be digested. Not only that, Ayurveda has calculated approximate time for the digestion of the water. For example, if it's just water, means normal water, no processing, no medicine is added like that, and room temperature water, Ayurveda indicates, it's approximate, not 100%, but Ayurveda indicates that approximately 6 hours are needed to digest the water. That means if now I drink this water, it is of room temperature as you can see, and it is spring here in Europe. So not a cold season, not a hot season, the water is at room temperature. If right now I drink this water, Ayurveda warns us that even for digesting this water I will need 6 hours. Okay, so this is a noteworthy thing, please note it. So Ayurveda recommends or teaches us to process water differently, to add some medicines, to make hot infusions, or to make cold infusions, or to make decoctions, etc. But because this episode is solely devoted to water, I will only comment on the water related things. So water at room temperature needs 6 hours for digestion. To make it easier for digestion, Ayurveda recommends that we can warm the water or make it hot, or we can even boil it as per the need. So if we boil the water, allow it to cool, and then we consume it, Ayurveda says that it will be digested, or it could be digested in about 3 hours. But if we drink water when it's practically hot, then it will be digested in half of that period, means approximately 1.5 hours that water will be digested. So Ayurveda highly recommends that in cold seasons we must drink warm water or hot water, not normal temperature water for sure. So this is a very important tip for maintenance of health. Ayurveda also comments on the container and its effect on the water. For example, you must have seen different pots here. This is a glass, which you can see. This is stainless steel, the most commonly used container today. And this is very interesting. This is a copper pot. And Ayurveda believes that if water is put in copper container for some time, it carries the qualities of the container. So it will carry the quality of copper, and that will benefit a person. Now copper, according to Ayurvedic belief, is mainly a medicine for reducing kapha dosha. So for kapha dominated people and also for vata people, they can use copper container, put water for some time, and then they should drink. But please take a note that copper is contraindicated for those people who are heat dominated, or what we call in Ayurveda, who are pitta prakruti people or pitta dominated people. Copper should not be used. Ayurveda also recommends to put water in a silver pot, because silver has action on vata dosha, it is anti-vata. But most interesting part is silver has an affinity to act on the nervous system, the brain and the nervous system of the person. So if water is put in silver pot and then used, it will have more effect, medicinal effect, on the nervous system of the person. Lastly, as you can see here, it's a golden ring. Ayurveda considers gold as one of the most stable factors on this planet. So gold is an excellent anti-vata medicine. That means it reduces vata dosha. And Ayurveda suggests a very interesting procedure, very easy to do. We can do it at home to be able to get the qualities of gold. The procedure is quite simple. I will not demonstrate it, but I will just show how it can be done at household level. We can take golden ring, put it in a container, of course not like this, maybe a bigger pot, and we can add desired amount of water on it. Suppose we need 1 liter of water per day. Ayurveda is not about quantity, so Ayurveda will not say how much milliliters we need, but just imagine we need 1 liter of water. So Ayurveda will say that put the ring, it should be of pure gold, in a container, add 2 liters of water, put it on a fire, allow it to boil, and when it boils and the water reduces to half, that means from 2 liters to 1 liter, we should use that water as medicated water medicated with gold, and that will give great benefits for the health perspective. So Ayurveda believes that if pure gold is put in water and water is boiled, the water will carry the qualities of gold. This is very interesting. Without losing the weight, means there will not be immediate reduction of gold in grams, milligrams, etc. But because Ayurveda is not about quantity, it's about quality, Ayurveda believes that if we process water like this, the water will carry some of the gold qualities. So that will be an excellent medicine for vata diseases, but more interestingly, that will be a great medicine for some of the psychological disorders. Now today we all are in a situation where sadness, depression, anxiety are quite common or about to occur in increasing numbers. So Ayurveda will recommend that use gold water, because gold is a stabilizing agent, and if we boil water with gold, water will carry all these beneficial qualities of gold and our bodies will be benefited. Even the modern Western parallel of these concepts, if you are aware about, are copper and gold. According to modern concepts, they have excellent antioxidant properties. So it is just a matter of different terminology, but I think sciences are trying their hard for the betterment of the health, and Ayurveda has a great treasure of knowledge. So Ayurveda has come up with many ways to use water effectively for the maintenance of health. Lastly, This is not just for drinking water. Of course, water is mainly for drinking, but very rarely Ayurveda uses water even for external application for some therapeutic purposes. So to conclude this episode, I will request that try to know more and more about Ayurveda. I am sure Amayur is offering good courses so you can get knowledge about Ayurveda. It's really ocean of knowledge, and I would request that as far as possible try to inculcate Ayurvedic principles in your daily life. So with this, I'm going to conclude my interactions with the viewers. It was a series of 10 videos. I want to thank Amayur for initiating this educational video series, and I'm sure it will be continued. This tradition of knowledge sharing will be continued. So I request all the viewers to believe in Ayurveda, to inculcate Ayurvedic principles in our day-to-day life.
Olá a todos! Se quiserem mais informações sobre a Associação Portuguesa de Medicina Ayurveda, poderão contactar-nos através de www.amayur.pt. No nosso site têm disponíveis todas as informações sobre os profissionais de Medicina Ayurveda ao longo do país, assim como das entidades formadoras reconhecidas para lecionar os cursos de terapeuta e de técnico de Medicina Ayurveda. Para além disso, se desejarem juntar-se à Associação Portuguesa de Medicina Ayurveda, têm 3 categorias de sócios. A categoria de sócio profissional, que pretende defender os profissionais da Ayurveda em Portugal, assim como a categoria de formando, que são todos os associados que estão em formação, e a categoria de amigo, para aqueles que gostam do Ayurveda e que querem que ele cresça em Portugal. Para além disso, também podem adquirir alguns dos produtos disponíveis na associação. Muito obrigada por assistirem ao podcast e continuem a ver.